This is my iron blue dun or IBD emerger. It's tied to suggest the emerging iron blue nymph stuck in or below the meniscus, with the dun in the process of leaving the nymphal shuck. I've got a size 16 Kamasan B170 in the vise. It's possibly a slightly heavier hook than some might use for this fly, but there's a couple of reasons that I use it. The first is that I want the hook or the fly to break through the meniscus as soon as it hits the water, be cocked at the right angle and fishing straight away. The second is that this fly has attracted some very good early season fish for me in the past, and I've had too many of the lighter wire hooks, if you want, open up on me. So now I like to use a stronger, heavier hook. I'm going to start with a thread just behind the eye of the hook and then work down the hook shank in touch and turns for a few millimeters to attach the thread. I'll cut away the waste and then I'll work back up towards the eye and stop just behind the eye, about a millimeter behind, and that'll leave enough room for the head when we finish the fly at the end. Now I'm going to prepare and attach the CDC feathers that will support the fly in the meniscus. I like to do this one feather at a time so that I can gauge how many feathers I want and gauge the length that I want. So I've snipped away the fluffy base. I'm just going to take one turn to hold that in place and then pull it through until I've got the length I'm happy with. Take another turn to hold it in position and then snip that away. Now I'll just stroke that back, see I've got enough room for the head. Yeah, that's fine. And now I want to take another CDC feather and prepare it by stripping away the longer fibres at the base of the stem. And then I took 2 wraps around that first feather to secure it. I'm going to unwind one wrap, put the feather in position, take one wrap to hold it, and then pull that through and stop when I've got it the same length as the first. I'll take a second wrap to secure it and snip that off. At this point, if I'd been using a lighter wire hook, then 2 CDC feathers would probably be sufficient. But as I'm using a B170, I'm going to add a third feather just to be sure that the tuft of CDC is large enough to support the heavier hook and hold the fly in the surface where I want it. So I'll prepare a third feather in the same way as I did the previous 2. Unwind one of my 2 wraps, hold the feather in position, take one wrap, keep the tension on, pull it through until I've got the right length. Now this time I'm not going to strip away that feather. I'm going to use it to help me taper the body or form the tapered body. So I'll hold the feather on top of the shank, the hook shank, and wind down, and I'm just forming a tapered body as I go. And now I'm going to snip away the remainder of the CDC feather so that I don't have too much bulk as I work my way down and taper towards the bend or the rear of the hook. That's okay, that's nicely tapered. Now I'm just going to carry on down towards the bend. And I'll stop there, and now before I apply the dubbing, I just want to come back up the body for about 4 or 5 turns to leave a short section of the thread exposed and create a short red butt. So now we're ready for the body. The body consists of lightly dubbed or sparsely dubbed mole fur. So I take a small piece and spin it onto the thread, and then I'm going to spread it up the thread so that it isn't going so it doesn't go on too thickly. I want enough to cover the body, but I want the thread to show through slightly. So now we just wind it up towards the eye of the hook. Just add a touch more, just to fill in that little gap there, and take the dubbing up to the base of the CDC feathers. So again, just sparsely, not too much. You don't want to be overly generous when you're dubbing. You can always add more dubbing if you need it, but if you overdub, it's difficult to take it away. So now that's done, I'll just fold the feathers back and take a few turns behind the eye to form the head. And now I'm going to do a whip finish to finish the fly off and remove the thread. That's it, snip that away. That's not looking too bad. There's a couple of stray fibres there I'll cut away. And that's fine. Just a touch of varnish on the head to seal it. That's the fly finished. So that's the iron blue dun emerger. It's been a very good fly for me on occasions when I've been lucky enough to hit a hatch of iron blue duns on our waters in late April or, depending on the weather, early May. I hope you like it, and if you try it, I hope it works for you.